Greetings everyone, thank you for coming to my channel. In this video, you'll be learning about transitive and intransitive verbs. So for starters, transitive verbs tell us what the subject does to the object. The subject is doing the action and the object is receiving the action, or the object is the recipient of the action. So first, let's look at some examples of subjects and objects. So example 1 says she loves her brother. So she is the subject because she's doing the action. She loves her brother. And brother is the object because the brother is receiving the action. The brother is receiving the love. Example 2 says I congratulated my sister on her pregnancy. So I'm the subject because I'm doing the action. I'm doing the congratulating. And my sister is the object because she's receiving the congratulations. She's receiving the action. Example 3 says I ate teriyaki for lunch. So I am the subject because I'm doing the action. Well, I did the action, I ate. Teriyaki is the object because teriyaki received the action. The teriyaki was eaten. Now let's look at some sentences that include transitive verbs. Also keep in mind that transitive verbs aren't specific verbs. That includes intransitive verbs as well. What makes a verb intransitive or transitive depends on how you use it, if that makes sense. So the verb is always going to be a verb. Now, if it's going to be transitive or intransitive, that depends on how you use it. That threw me off at first. Okay, so example 1 says she kicked her brother. So remember with transitive verbs, there's a subject and an object. So she is the subject because she's doing the kicking, and the brother is the object because he's receiving the action. Example 2 says I ate dinner. Remember with transitive verbs, there's a subject and an object. I am the subject because I'm doing the action, I'm doing the eating, and dinner is the object because dinner is being eaten. It's receiving the action. Example 3 says I bought a new car. Remember with transitive verbs, there's a subject and an object. I'm the subject because I bought the car, and the object is the car because the car was bought. It received the action. Now with intransitive verbs, the sentence doesn't need an object. The verb tells us what the subject is doing, and just the subject. So first, let's look at some examples of subjects. So example 1 says I bought food for dinner. So I will be the subject because I'm doing the action. The action is bought. So I bought the food, so that makes me the subject. Example 2 says he likes riding his skateboard. So he is doing the liking. He likes riding his skateboard, so that makes him the subject. He's doing the action. And example 3 says my dog keeps barking at people. So my dog is the subject because my dog is doing the action. My dog is barking. Also keep in mind these sentences are just examples of subjects. In other words, don't pay attention to anything else in these sentences. We're just focusing on the subjects. Now let's look at some examples of intransitive verbs. So example 1 says she laughed obnoxiously. So as you can see, there's just a subject in this sentence, and the verb is laughed. Example 2 says the boy screamed. As you can see, there's just a subject in this sentence, well, in the verb, of course, but the subject is the boy and the verb is screamed. And example 3 says I slept peacefully. As you can see, there's just a subject in the sentence. The subject is I because I'm doing the action, and the verb is slept. Remember, a verb being intransitive or transitive merely depends on how you're using the verb, but the verb stays the same. Some verbs can be transitive in one sentence and intransitive in another sentence. So in example 1, the verb is transitive because it says I ate dinner. So there's a subject and an object. So I am the subject because I'm doing the eating, and dinner is the object because it's being eaten. And then transitive version says I ate at 6 a.m. So with intransitive verbs, there's no object, just a subject, the person or thing doing the action. So it says I ate at 6 a.m. So I am the subject because I'm doing the eating. So example 2, the transitive version says my dog keeps barking at people. So with transitive verbs, there's a subject and an object. So my dog is the subject because my dog is doing the barking, and the people are the object because they're receiving the action. And in the example where the verb is intransitive, it says my dog keeps barking. So with intransitive verbs, we don't need an object. We just need a subject. So my dog is doing the barking, so that makes my dog the subject. So example 3 with the transitive verb says I am baking cookies. So remember with transitive verbs, we have to have a subject and an object. The subject is I because I'm doing the baking, and the object is the cookies because the cookies are being baked. The example with the intransitive verb says baking is my passion. And remember with intransitive verbs, we don't need an object, we just need a subject. Our subject is baking. Next we have example 4. Our example with the transitive verb says I will walk to the store. Our subject is I because I'm doing the action, I'm doing the walking, and the store is the object because the store is receiving the action. And our example with the intransitive verb says I am going for a walk. Remember, when intransitive verbs, we just need a subject, not an object. So I am the subject because I'm the one that's going for a walk. Next we have example 5. So our sentence with the transitive verb says I will paint a beautiful picture. Remember, with transitive verbs, we need a subject and an object. So the subject is I because I will be doing the painting, and then the object is a beautiful picture because a beautiful picture is the recipient of the action. And our sentence with the intransitive verb says I will paint this afternoon. So with intransitive verbs, we only need a subject, not an object. So the subject is I because I'm the one that will be doing the painting this afternoon. So yeah, just remember with transitive verbs, the sentence includes a subject and an object, and with intransitive verbs, the sentence just includes a subject. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you found value in this video. If you did find value in this video, please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe, or all of the above, and I'll see you next time.